Hey, it's Lex and Stacy, Threesome Podcast number 146. Hello, everybody, and hello, Stacy. What is up?
Hello, Lex. Not too much. Just podcasting with you. I know.
No, man.
It's like we're out of sync.
We are out of sync.
It's like we're not having our periods at the same time anymore.
Well, we did that about a week ago.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
We rang in the new year in style.
We did. Stacy upset me. I upset her. Then we got upset at each other.
It was our first real fight.
It was.
Ever in like 20 years.
It was kind of sad and glorious at the same time.
I know. I didn't back down. I was really proud of myself.
Well, you got to be there to fight, though, sometimes. It's like when you've disregarded, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 text messages.
That's because I was taking my time responding so that I said things right.
Yeah, well, you got to say something, because what you said was, yes, no, I'm ready. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
See?
Yeah, I'm not a big cold shoulder guy. Here's a nice one. Perfect. Whenever, I'll be here. This is when I'm trying to do a podcast. Now, granted, I had to cancel last Thursday.
Yeah.
Because my house had the sickies. And then yesterday, Angus got sick. Can you get your dog sick? Can they get you sick?
I do think there are some things that can be passed around.
Yeah, because he just, like, for one day.
But if you've got him, like, at parks and things where there's other dogs, it's very possible for him to pick something up there.
Well, how long does that take, though? Because I had him at a park about a week before Lisa got home, and when she got home about 2 days later, he got sick.
That was totally her.
And I just said, that's way too long of gestation period. I'm sorry. You know?
It was totally her.
Yeah.
She did it.
Yeah, that's what I said.
She's patient 0 for the dog flu.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's out of control. But I've just been dealing with all kinds of stuff like that. Life has not been super fun.
No, it hasn't. And, you know, I like to think that I'm not depressed. But, you know, more and more signs are kind of pointing towards the fact that I might be. But I really don't feel like I am, if that makes sense. But things just aren't grand.
No, they're not. Not at all. I really have not much to look forward to lately other than misery. Seems like I'm just putting out fires.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, seriously.
The holidays didn't seem to even, like, lift anything. Like, they were just filled with cold dread for me. And we don't exchange gifts or anything, so it wasn't even like a financial thing. It was just, I just wasn't looking forward to having to talk to people.
Yeah, I went through, now, granted, I was sick, so that helps, but I didn't want to talk or email or anything for like 3 weeks.
Right. Oh, I understand.
I mean, I just didn't want anything to do with it whatsoever. And that's not like me. I'm usually pretty good at taking care of my obligations. But at
there's a lot of that going around, and of course I have my suspicions as to what at least an underlying cause of that might be. But yeah, it just seems my mom went to Italy back, God, in the fall, and honestly, she still hasn't recovered from it. It like wore her out, and she just hasn't been happy since she came home and stuff. And it's like, geez, Mom, please don't ever go to Europe again. It just,
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, it's weird. I mean, and it's not just me. It's a lot of people.
My brother
that are just in funks.
Exactly. My brother was the same way. He became rather upset about something while he was home for Christmas, and it was just kind of like a shock to see him like get that upset about this particular thing. And it's like, that's why we don't hear from him anymore, because he's just dealing with his own shit. It had nothing to do with my mom or I or anything. It's just his own life stuff. But it was like, God, we all just suck. Nobody's happy. Nobody has anything to look forward to.
No, not at all. I mean, it seems like all I have to look forward to is I get to pay off a bill with the next check or something.
Yay!
I mean, it's just sad. Sad times this time
Very
of
much
year.
so.
This time of year, it's really happened. Nobody can afford to do Christmas.
Yes. And I think you agreed. I mean, this time each year is kind of the same, but this year seems to be it's magnified in some ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just I just don't know what it is. I've experienced it before, but it's been a while. But I don't like it.
Well, it's also equally depressing. This is a flail at changing the subject, but not really. I finally watched Infinity Wars, the Avengers, this week. Holy shit! That was the most depressing fucking thing I've seen since Schindler's List.
Can we discuss that? Did any kind of hope come out of that at all, or is it
No!
done?
I have sat there with I contacted like friends of mine who are very comic book involved.
Yeah.
The people who know things and all this stuff, and I'm like, how? I guess I should say spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the Avengers Infinity Wars, just turn the podcast off, just pause it right now and go watch the movie and then come back and finish listening to this, please. If you don't want to know anything, just pause or fast forward 15 minutes from now.
Yeah, just stop here. And, we'll give it 5 minutes. Start the timer.
So, Loki has been my very favorite Avenger through the whole thing. And yes, I realize part of it is because he's been bad and good. You're never really sure. He's the god of mischief, Mm-hmm. I love Loki. I love Tom Hiddleston as Loki. I just think that Loki is perfection in my eyes.
Nobody else could play Loki.
He and Idris Elba get killed in the first 5 minutes of the fucking movie. Mm-hmm. And then, I'm just going off on a tangent because a friend of mine who has not yet seen the movie, and so I was trying to talk delicately with him. He assumes, because I knew everyone dies in this movie. It's hard to escape that spoiler. I just didn't know who was going to die or anything like that. And so my friend, who has not seen the movie yet either, he's assuming that Loki dies with everybody else. And so I'm like trying to sit there and say, no, because even if everyone else is saved from that event, which surely that has to happen in some way, Loki wasn't part of that. And so he and Idris Elba probably aren't coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my Loki. I love Loki. Spider-Man, that really upset me because the kid, that just got really real. That was like a really odd moment of realism amongst everyone else dying.
Uh-huh.
I didn't like that at all. It was like, let's take the kid and make him the one that's just going to kick you right in the gut,
Uh-huh.
It's like, Jesus Christ, this is the most depressed. It's like Avengers Empire Strikes Back. I don't know how this could get better.
That and his poor acting career is pretty much done.
Who? Which one?
Spider-Man. Pretty much over.
Like that. I liked that line. Have you ever heard of a really old movie called Aliens? Like, oh, shut up, kid.
Yeah, shut up, you little bitch.
So how do you think they get out of this? I don't know how they get out of this.
I don't know. I'm not informed enough on the comic books and the story and everything to even conceive how they get out of it, because they just got their ass kicked.
In a big, there can be no more Guardians of the Galaxy's movies.
No.
You know, they're all gone except for, well, the raccoon, Bradley Cooper.
I didn't even realize that was part of the Avengers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, then that was a surprise. See, I felt bad about
what the fuck are they doing here?
And you know, well, who else? Technically, all of the X-Men are supposed to be as well. X-Men is Marvel, but sometime a long time ago, before all the Marvel stuff started up with Disney, someone else had purchased the rights to X-Men, and that is why X-Men are not in with all of the Avengers stuff. They should be, but it just didn't work out that way. But it is part of the same universe.
No kidding.
Yes. And, you know, it's weird because growing up, because I made my mom watch this movie with me yesterday, day before yesterday, Sunday, whatever it was. Anyway, and she doesn't know. So I'm pausing it often just to say, okay, this is so-and-so, this is so-and-so, this is what they do. And, you know, we were kind of talking about the movie because after the movie got done, you know, she's in her 70s. She knows nothing about any of these movies. And she's like, well, that was just a terrible ending.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, it was a terrible ending, Mom. It was the worst.
I've never seen an ending like that where everybody just it's just over, franchise over.
It's like our heroes are gone. I was upset about the Scarlet Witch because I've known all along, just you could tell from whichever Avengers she first showed up in with her brother, she's just like this badass chick. She's like Jean Grey. You know, she's got all of these powers that are just stronger than anyone else. She probably could kick Hulk's ass if she wanted to. And
yeah, Hulk is like worthless. You know,
at this point, yeah, I was really disappointed in him.
Anybody who's just strong, it's not enough. You know, unless you got force fields, ray guns, you know, all that stuff, you're pretty much toast.
It was just depressing.
Yeah.
Really, really. But now I asked a friend, because if you watched, you know, because you know when you watch a Marvel movie, you have to watch through the credits because there's always something at the very, 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 very end of the movie. And, of course, we got to watch Samuel L. Jackson die. And Robin from How I Met Your Mother. Mm-hmm. They both died in the streets of New York from the same thing. But he was calling someone. And I asked my friend, who is he calling? Who is he calling? And I wasn't even paying attention or thinking about Captain Marvel movies are coming out soon with Brie Larson, the chick.
Oh, yeah.
So I think she's going to come in and save the universe. Hopefully. She's going to play a big part. And the other thing, too, here I'm going off because I've just been thinking about this. Because remember, Doctor Strange said, if it comes down to it, for me saving the stone, I am not going to save you, Tony Stark, or Spider-Man. I will, you know, let you guys die before I give up the stone. But he gave up the stone for Tony. Mm-hmm. And remember, he saw the 14 million different outcomes. But he said only one was good. I suspect that he had to save Tony because Tony is the only one with the brain power to figure out how to get out of this.
Ah. That's really the only answer it could be.
Either that or he has a hard-on for Tony Stark, and that's how the Avengers end.
Wants to bone him, yeah.
I would totally pay to see a Benedict Cumberbatch, Robert Downey Jr.
buddy cop movie?
Yeah. In quotes. Actually, that might be pretty great.
Nothing will ever top The Other Guys as a buddy cop movie.
Oh, my God. I love that movie so much.
Fucking Will Ferrell and Wahlberg. I need to fly. I'm a peacock. Peacocks don't fly. It's good stuff.
So anyway, Avengers, really depressing if you haven't seen it yet. And if you hadn't and you still listen to us, yeah, they all die. So have fun with that.
Everybody die!
It was the worst. And Spider-Man is going to upset you if you have even like the tiniest little bit of a soul or heart. That one just sucked. That sucked. Spider-Man sucked. That was just terrible. I didn't cry for any of it, but that one got me all kind of like, blink, blink, blink. I was like, damn it, Spider-Man.
Damn.
It was upsetting.
Yeah.
So have you seen Bird Box?
I did.
I have not, because I am a pussy with the scary stuff, and I'm afraid to watch it while I'm alone, which is, 99% of my time.
It's not like that.
Oh, it's not? Okay. They kind of make it look like it is.
I mean, it definitely, it's suspenseful and all that, but it really to me is not, freak you out like, a horror movie or Aliens.
Like The Ring?
Yeah, right. Yeah, The Ring is.
The Ring is the only scary movie that's ever given me nightmares.
Yeah, The Ring. The Ring and what's one of the other ones?
The Grudge.
Sinister, I think it's called.
Oh, with the woman in the black hair.
Yeah.
And that kid. Oh God, the second Insidious.
Yeah, Insidious.
Is that what you're thinking of? Yes.
Well, there's Insidious, and then there's one called Sinister or something like that. There was two of those. There's two of those, and I think there's three Insidious.
The first Insidious scared me really bad.
Yeah.
And then I saw the second one. I'm like, you guys shot your wad in the first one. It was okay.
But none are as great as Cabin in the Woods.
At the end, when the unicorn runs through and starts goring everybody. Yeah. I laughed. I'm a pussy. I'm a huge pussy with scary movies. And that movie I thought was going to be so scary. And then I found myself laughing. And then I'm just like really, really laughing.
That movie's genius. Absolute genius. The control room dudes kill me.
But that unicorn.
I know. all the monsters were fucking phenomenal. They really were. They were all great.
Yes. That's one of those where you find yourself going, okay, now we're going to play, can I name these monsters? Okay, there's a unicorn. There's this. There's that. You're kind of going through, and it's like, oh, I have no idea what that's supposed to be. What is that? I'm going to have to look that up.
That's hilarious. I'm so glad you've seen it.
That was Jennifer Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of those movies that, she filmed prior to her becoming famous, but for whatever reason, it wasn't released. I don't think it had anything to do with her, just scheduling, a money thing or something. I don't know. And then she did Winter's Bone or whatever that was. And then a couple other movies. She got the X-Men thing and she became huge. And then these guys had this movie and it was like, hey, let's release this.
She's so hot. She
is. I say good for her.
Yeah.
And she's not bone skinny, bless her.
She is just smoking hot. Her and Charlize, total badasses.
Yeah. And Charlize doesn't seem to age. Mm-mm. Neither does Sandra Bullock.
No. Sandra Bullock's 56. She looks like she's 40 in Bird Box.
She's amazing. Is she really 56? Now I'm going to have to look that up. That depresses me.
Yeah. I know she's pretty well into her 50s.
Courtney Cox was on Jimmy Kimmel last night. She's had too much work done.
Yes.
It makes me sad. Mm-hmm. She
Meg Ryan.
Not quite as bad. You look at her.
Nobody's quite as bad. That's why she's the metaphor.
Well, what's her face? Me, Myself, and Irene and Bridget Jones.
Oh, yeah. The one,
with the
Jerry
cute little,
Maguire.
little chubby face and her puckery lips.
What's her name?
Renee
Zellweger.
Yes, I was going to say Russo, and I know that wasn't her.
Renee Russo was like a teenage crush for me.
I loved her in The Line of Fire with Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic movie. It doesn't hold up super well because of the technology, but it's still a really fun movie to watch.
She was just in something with Jake Gyllenhaal about 2 years ago, where he's like one of these news guys.
Oh,
yeah.
That was a weird movie. I've seen that.
Yeah,
where he ended up like kind of, wasn't he the killer?
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah,
but he was like chasing him around.
Yeah, he's like a paparazzi. New, but not for stars, just for news. Period. So she starts like getting him to cover stuff because he seems to make shit happen. Because he was.
Yes, he literally was making stuff happen.
I mean, you're going to be the.
She was also Thor's mom.
Yes, she was, which was kind of depressing.
It was. I was like, really? Because she was married to Anthony Hopkins, and he's like, what, 80-something?
Uh-huh.
It's like he wishes he could get a Renee Russo, even today.
Yeah, she always did it for me. She always had like kind of a bad girl look or something. I can't explain it. All I know is it was good enough for me.
Eyes.
Yeah.
It's the same eyes that What's-Her-Face has that we love. Why can't I ever think of her name? It's not Angie Dickinson. It's Ellen Barkin.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
they have kind of that same squinty eyes that gives them just this bad girl.
Ellen Barkin had the best body. I mean, her body was sick when she was in her heyday.
Yes.
She was the classic, I don't care about her face girl.
Don't get us wrong. Her face was pretty fantastic.
Yeah, no, her face was okay. It was just okay. But for Hollywood starlet, it wasn't like top of the line. It was just, she was just a girl. Yeah. But her body was better than anybody's. that movie she was in with Al Pacino.
I know what you mean.
Had the honey drippers in it.
Yes.
Sea of Love.
Sea of Love.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, the fucking song. What was that Sea of Love movie where they played Sea of Love? Oh, yeah, Sea of Love.
Since we're talking about that, I'm going off on all these tangents. I'm sorry. I'm having coffee right now.
Yeah, I am too. I'm on a 5-shot Americana right now. I got all afternoon.
In Thor Ragnarok, I thought excellent usage of Led Zeppelin. I was so impressed that song was like made for those two moments in that movie.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of Zeppelin. What was the HBO had a special? What was the name of it? It was Sharp Objects with Amy Adams and Patricia.
Oh, she just got snubbed for that one. She was supposed to have.
She got snubbed, but Patricia Clarkson didn't for supporting actress.
Right. But her eating that dress in the dressing room, I've only seen snippets. I have not seen the show, but you can tell just from watching like the 5 seconds that she's eating the dress that she really deserves something for that.
She got snubbed. She was that good.
That's what many people say, that she's become the Leonardo DiCaprio of female actors.
Yeah, I mean she's pretty money in everything she does. Anything I've seen her in, she's been money.
She's one of those that she's not stunningly beautiful, and I hate to say that because I want to lift up women and stuff.
But I think she is.
She's a very pretty woman.
She's sexy to me. I don't know why, but she is. It's an intellect thing.
I think so.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
She's not. I don't even. Natalie Portman to me is like beautiful, like otherworldly beautiful, but she's also very, very smart.
Yeah, she went to Harvard, so you got that in the back of your mind at all times.
She's actually published like she wrote some scientific paper because she's an overachiever.
Yeah. You know what's fun about her though? I saw her on the Andy Cohen thing on Bravo, and she was on with Leslie Mann, and she's just a fucking girl. She's like fans of people like anybody else, and she's she has the hots for certain dudes. I mean, she's just a regular fucking chick who happens to be insanely gorgeous, insanely talented, incredibly intelligent, and probably the most perfect woman on earth. But yeah, let's add to it by being completely fucking normal on top of it.
Yeah, I know. She was just in the last 2 weeks. It was like odd because everyone else was on vacation. God, it sucked for late night these last 2 weeks.
I know.
But she was on something. I can't remember who she was on with. But anyway, it was a recent interview. I mean, just done, and she was talking about she just was in some movie, and the director was like 27 years old. And they were discussing the fact, she and whoever was interviewing her, like how young this person is. And, it was just very interesting, and also made me realize that, she's all grown up. She's like, she's heading towards middle age now. Our Natalie Portman is. She was saying, I've spent most of my life people telling me how mature I am for my age, but they don't tell me that anymore because I'm 37.
Yeah.
And she said, now if someone said that to me, it would be insulting. But,
But she doesn't look 37. She looks like she's 27.
You know what? Take a close look around her eyes. When she smiles and stuff, she crinkles. There's lines there.
Yeah, I just love her look. It's so classic. It really
Yeah, I know. She's like Grace Kelly without the nymphomania.
Yeah, I mean, I've always loved the Grace Kellys, the Natalie Woods, that's definitely my Hollywood fantasy, are those chicks.
Yes. She's the last of a classy breed, because, I mean, who else of this generation is classy?
I'm sure if we thought of it long enough, we could find somebody.
But not off the top of our head.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody right now.
Right.
But there's somebody. I'll see them on TV in the next 48 hours. Count on it. They go, there's one.
Which, speaking of, I don't know, I think it's because we're talking about sort of like child entertainers and stuff. Did you see, like, this was like a week or two ago now, Donny Osmond had a stroke. Did he die? I never heard anything else about it. Do you know anything?
No, he did not die.
Okay.
But I don't know what condition he's in.
Because that was another thing where I'm like, oh my God, how old are we that Donny Osmond's having a stroke?
Yeah, well, I mean, he and his sister are, what, 60? He's like 64 or something like that.
Is he really?
And I think she's 60.
Okay, they're much older than I thought they were, but still. I had Donny Marie dolls when I was a little kid. Which is funny because I hated dolls. My mom insisted on getting me lots of dolls because she wanted me to be girly.
That's right. That's what you do, is just shove dolls up your daughter's ass until she says, I'm a girl, okay, got it.
My mom has a friend. She's a lovely woman. She's a little nutty at times, but nothing that's like dangerous.
Right. Okay.
So she just kind of is the friend that has that reputation. Okay. You know what I mean? Just she's the nutty one. And it makes sense. When you know the story, it makes sense that she'll go around when she's shopping and stuff, she will buy like Barbie dolls. Because she wants the clothes, because there's something else that she does with them. She uses them for something else for other projects. But so she'll buy like the Barbie dolls and take the clothes off, and then she doesn't know what to do with them. So she has apparently somewhere in her house a closet. Like if you open the door, there's just a pile of naked Barbies on the floor in this closet. And my brother and I keep telling my mom, you really need to encourage her to clean that out, because if emergency people ever come into her house and just see the closet full of naked Barbies, are probably going to
Right.
assume things of her when they don't know everything right off the top of their heads, because that's creepy. One naked doll is a little creepy, but a pile of them, that's kind of really creepy.
They were poor and they had to sell all their clothes. And they couldn't go outside because it's cold.
See, if I were mean, I would sneak in and put terrible lipstick on all of them, like Joker, just smear lipstick across the faces of some of the Barbies and cut their hair all terribly.
And get some fishing line and hang them all. Did I just say that?
So mean.
Need to stop watching CSI.
Because we could do it now, thanks to CSI.
Or Criminal Minds.
That show got really dark.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it in a decade, but it got really dark.
Yeah.
Is it still on?
I think it is, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe so.
Now, have they killed off Gibbs yet in NCIS?
No. Gibbs is staying as long as he wants. Number one show on TV still.
Really?
Uh-huh.
What does that say about America?
That they are boring and don't have cable?
Because, don't get me wrong. Mark Harmon at 40 years old was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful man.
Mm-hmm.
Goddamn, he was a beautiful man.
25 years ago.
I know.
We talked
he's
about
not
this.
so much now. I know you and I did, but we didn't publicly. He's old and beat up now. And it's starting to stretch the imagination that he could actually win a fight.
I don't know, that angry old man thing, there's something to it.
Yes, but angry old men tend to, I think of them more as being able to set things up like the Ewoks in Return of the Jedi, Angry old men can set traps.
No, angry old men can beat some ass. If you were out in the Alaskan bush or something like that and you see a bearded old man and you see a young person, fight the young person. Anybody that can last through the elements?
Yes.
For 40 years, I'm taking on the other one. God knows what's buried out there. But it's crazy, man. TV, we have so many options.
I was thinking, because I actually was talking to my mom the other day, about Bird Box, because she doesn't want to watch it either. I'll watch it eventually. I just need to not be a pussy.
It's fine.
And
me.
I fully admit that I'm a pussy. I know this about myself. Go ahead and mock me for it. I deserve it.
Okay, puss.
But Netflix, I've heard enough people talking about Bird Box. You would think that it is a movie out in theaters, and it's not. It's on Netflix.
They released figures over the weekend, according to our news person, that they think 44 million people watched it over the weekend.
Wow. And see, that right there is going to change everything. I think that any stars who were kind of on the wall, kind of being wishy-washy about, should we do Netflix stuff? Should we do Amazon Prime stuff? This is going to answer that for them. No,
that is, I think they said that would be $500 million at the box office.
That's amazing.
Or $600,000 at the or $600 million at the box office.
$1 million.
$600,000 at the box office.
Woohoo! It makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah.
Sandra's like, sign me up for number 2.
Mm-hmm. That's movie money.
Right.
I mean,
I get it. I mean, everybody has their big screen TVs now. Everyone has their sound system. Everybody can sit back and like watch and not have to worry about anything sticking to the bottom of their feet because someone spilled something up behind you somewhere at the theater. You don't have to worry about the douchebag who forgot to turn their phone off. And if they did, it's your kid and you can just yell at them. You can pause and yell at them.
Although with the hours I have, going to the movies in the middle of the afternoon, you pretty much, along with maybe one or two other people, have a giant movie screen to yourself. It's pretty cool.
To do that years and years ago when I was there with you guys at Rock 105 in Jacksonville. I had never gone to a movie before by myself. I was afraid to. I felt there was a certain level of patheticness with it and everything. But I was like, by God, I'm going to go do this. And so I did a couple times, and it was just like what you said, because it was like when I got out of work, it was like middle of the day, and it was like, oh, this is nice. So The Mummy came out. Remember The Mummy? Oh, God, I loved The Mummy. I'm like, I'm going to go see The Mummy.
Brendan Fraser?
Yes, that one. With Arnold Vosloo as the hot mummy. He was so fucking hot. And then the Arab guy, he was fucking hot with his long hair. I was like, oh my God, how many hot men are in this movie? I loved it. And so it was like Memorial Day weekend. I wasn't thinking. I'm like, I'm going to go see The Mummy. And so I do. I buy my ticket, and I've got my popcorn, I've got my pop, and I walked in, and it was like one of those where you walk in and you kind of walk through the little tunnel so that you're going to come out at the front of the theater. And so I turn around, I'm like going blink, 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 because the lights were dim, and I look up, and that theater was full. I was just horrified, and I'm just standing there staring at all the people, and I take a step forward.
You're like, get out.
I trip. I didn't go down. There is a God. I didn't go down, but my popcorn just exploded. And by the grace of God, there was one empty seat, aisle seat right there, and I just dove for it. I didn't even ask the person sitting there next to it if like it was taken. I just dove in and just squished down, and I could hear the tittering of laughter and stuff, and I'm like, fuck.
Like, don't turn around.
And then I sat there and stared at all my popcorn on the floor that mocked me the rest of the movie. And then when the movie was done, I was out of there before the lights came up.
Didn't even stay for the credits.
It was so embarrassing.
God, Lisa loves that movie. Every time it's on, she watches it. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
I get it. It was like shocking how hot they were.
She watches movies she loves. It could be for a hot dude, or it could be for Christmas or whatever. But I bet she watched Home Alone 25 times in the last month.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah,
I think I've seen that movie twice in my entire life.
Some sort of comfort thing or something. But it's like I'd walk in the house and go, oh my God.
Now, see, I kind of get that. When my husband was still here, I every night, like going to sleep, would turn on, and this upsets me because just in the last few months, Netflix got rid of Bridget Jones. They still have like the second movie, but not the first one anymore. And I would turn that on because I'm so familiar with that movie. I could have it on and I could listen to it, but I wouldn't have to stay aware of it, and it would help me go to sleep, which is an odd thing, I know. And
she does the same thing.
It's gone now. There's no more Bridget Jones on Netflix.
Yeah, she does it with Superbad. She has like three of them. Superbad, and during the holidays, Home Alone, and Christmas Vacation. The Mummy. There's like another horror movie or two, and then there's a rotation of like 10 movies.
Yes.
And, when she gets in the mood to watch them, she'll just look at you and go, I'm watching this. You may want to go in the other room. And it's like, definitely want to go in the other room.
I'm not proud of this, but a few weeks ago, I spent a couple days and watched all of the Twilight movies in order. Don't judge. Actually, go ahead and judge. I deserve that one too.
No, listen. Obviously, there's a wide spectrum of people that love those, based on the money that they made and careers that they spawned.
Except for Robert Pattinson, he's kind of died down. He did a bunch of stuff, and I haven't seen him now in a while.
Yeah, he to me was the weak link in it anyway.
He got better. If you watch the first one is just really bad.
And what was
the acting is bad.
What was the other kid's name? Taylor something.
Taylor Lautner.
Yeah, what is he doing these days?
Not too much either.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for him, and I don't know or care if they were true, but he just was always plagued with gay rumors.
No.
But nothing like, it wasn't like
that shouldn't stop anybody these days.
It shouldn't. Agreed. And it makes me sad, but it just, for some reason, there just always seemed to be rumors about his gayness. And I don't know if he is gay.
Royalty. Sorry, your gayness.
It shouldn't make a difference.
No, it shouldn't.
But he certainly was built like a good-looking gay man. Because only gay men get their bodies in that quality shape.
They're the only ones that have the dedication.
Exactly.
Nobody's going to want to look at me in the club unless I'm this size. Hey, it's true. They're very much like women when it comes to that. They are great about watching their physiques and their health and all that stuff. It's like important.
It is very important.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them.
No, it's just.
And I thank many of them for the ability to walk around without their shirts on.
That's part.
Actually,
that's part of the game.
Thor took his shirt off, and I'm like, "Mom, look at that chest." And my mom, "That is a very nice chest." It's not too big, and I'm just looking at her like, "Wow."
Goes home in 2 hours. Gush, 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 gush.
You.
A really nice chest, Stacy. Thank you, honey.
Oh, by the way, every time I saw Thanos, all I could think was, my God, that's a Lex.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I get that all the time. I told you I'd run the world one day.
Say, I was really impressed. They could have made him so incredibly one-dimensional, but you actually kind of almost feel bad for Thanos.
Yeah, he kind of has a soul,
He does.
Yeah.
He's on a mission that he knows is going to suck, and he's still doing it, which is just the total definition of like a hero sacrificing and all that stuff. It wasn't something that the rest of us believe in.
Not right. But it's kind of like, it's total genocide, but it's
to save the other half.
In his mind, it's a more merciful way to do it.
Yes. And it is ultimately to save lives.
Yeah.
To make sure that life can continue.
That whatever life is left is quality life for those people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so you can't, again, he was very deep.
Yeah, when you look at the gluttony of Tony,
yeah,
and the gluttony of his underground lairs and his sports cars and his missiles and his military contracts and yeah, he doesn't look too bad next to him, does he?
I know. Again, that's the stuff to think about. But it was fascinating, that they gave him such depth, and you kind of go, he's not doing it just because he's evil. In fact, I don't think he's evil. He might be misguided, but I don't think he's evil.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. When he gave his speech at the end, and talked about how nice his planet was as a kid and all that stuff, and how it could be like that again if you just get out of his fucking way.
I know.
But yeah, I had lots of people on Twitter sending me the likeness thing.
He even sounded like you. In fact, it was funny because it was like Josh Brolin was totally made for that role, because you know my feelings. Josh Brolin has the largest head of any human being.
Yeah, but No Country for Old Men is like one of my favorite movies.
But he still has a giant head in that movie, does he not? He has like an uncommonly large noggin.
Yeah, well, so does Javier Bardem. You know, the two giant heads going at it in that movie.
Was that where he was the blonde?
No, Javier Bardem was the killer.
Yeah, but was he the blonde, like the bleach blonde?
No, he had dark hair. You don't remember?
Where did Javier? Where did he have the bleached blonde? It was like a bowl cut. He was a killer.
Yeah,
but it was just
that was to fit in at one place, but he got rid of that.
Okay.
Yeah. No, he had his normal color hair the rest of the movie. But he's
also famous for hitting on James Bond and being married to Penelope Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have a huge head? I can't help.
He's a very big head.
It's all I see on Josh Brolin is just like, how does his neck and shoulders support that thing?
Yeah,
it's fucking huge.
Take a look next time. He has a giant head.
That Hex movie, Jonah Hex. That was another one. It was like, oh my God, and you're putting makeup on that thing. It's ginormous.
Yeah. And W. He was.
Have you seen that yet? Or Vice?
I've not seen Vice, man. I'm dying to see it.
You know, I am too. When I first saw the preview, I was just like excited. I was like, I don't know why this movie shouldn't excite me, but it does.
I mean, from what I understand, a good friend of mine went and saw it. He says everybody nails their role in this movie. Everybody.
Sam Rockwell, now all I can see is George W. when I see him. He's so good at being him in only the previews that I've seen.
Yeah. Well, then that's
all I see.
You haven't seen 3 Billboards yet, then. Because that's all you'll see after you see that.
Is it going to make me hate him?
Oh, no.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, he ends up being kind of an anti-hero in the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't tell me because I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, God, Stacey, it's so good. It's such a good movie. Frances McDormand is so fucking amazing. What an amazing actress she is.
She is one of those who is not pretty at all, yet she makes you kind of want her with the way she acts.
Yeah, I love Fargo, Frances McDormand, more than I love 3 Billboards. She's a little rougher in that. But yeah, she's once again got some depth to her.
Yes.
Yeah, and I like women that have depth to them.
And not just their pussies.
Nah.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah. I don't need that to be so deep.
A shallow pool.
Use your depth somewhere else. In your intellect.
In your mouth.
That's right. But it is not needed there. I mean, me as a king in the 15th. Bring me the shallow ones.
There's a dipping stick.
The ones you think I could still hurt.
The shallow ones.
Dilly dilly.
Oh my God.
So since we're wrapping things up, back to our fight.
Oh, yes.
All right, I wasn't I'm not mad at you for your Facebookings and all that stuff. The only thing I was mad at you about was attaching me to direct tweets. It was all. Other than that, I don't care what you do. Direct tweets to the president, you know?
Oh.
Strange.
But that was funny.
Taking me along for that ride.
I wasn't even saying anything. It was simply that, because that was funny. You have to admit that Dale Earnhardt post on Facebook was
it's funny, but
the funniest meme of 2018, and it came right at the end of the year. That was hilarious, and it was one of the most popular posts on our Facebook page.
That's fine.
And nobody bitched about it because everyone recognized it.
I'm not worried about that. I don't want to directly contact the president. I don't want to be in on that. All right. That's all.
It's not like he's looking. That would require, depth on his part.
Yeah, it's just
caring.
It's just me. It's not who I am. I just don't want to do it.
All right.
For lots of reasons, because it could cause problems for other people, and our financial situation and all that. Not that it would or won't, but I play it safe.
Yes.
I don't have enough passion to think that anything I say is going to get responded to or cause.
See, I didn't think that he was going to either, but it was something that other people, because it was such a funny thing. I thought maybe that other people, because I don't know if you've noticed, a lot of people respond to Dipshit's tweets.
Yeah, I know. And
they look.
I know. I just don't want to.
I get it. But that was my thought process.
So if you want to do a Stacy threesome account, go for it. I don't care.
Sadly, I think something like that would be misconstrued as something else.
Yes, it would. Which is
I
why
brought the condoms and the beer.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna contact him directly, just do it from a personal account. Is all I'm saying.
Again, it wasn't to him, just to people who respond to him.
That's fine.
I know.
You know where I stand, which is what I always wanted.
What?
It's just for you to know how I feel about that, is all I was.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
And you know how I feel. And you can be assured I won't do it anymore.
I know. As far as all the other stuff you made references to, I'm like, I don't give a fuck about that. It's fine.
Obviously.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't give a fuck if you do it or not. The only thing I want to address is what's with the Lex podcast. I didn't understand that. Anytime I talk about the podcast on the show or in social media, I am very sure to mention both our names and what we're talking about and blah, blah, blah. So
you especially know how important branding is.
Yes.
And everything I was at one point set up fabulously. People could go to the website to find our podcast. And, while, yes, I understand and appreciate the fact that Lex and Terry listeners make up a vast majority of the Threesome Podcast listeners, I would also like to think that maybe there are people that are finding the podcast that don't know Lex and Terry. And that is not in any way a negative. I'm just saying coming in from other ways, other areas.
Well, if you remember in the beginning, we had the discussion that we would use Lex and Terry to launch the boat and at some point cut the rope and go on our own. We went the opposite direction, I guess, because now nothing is connected to anything that is the podcast. It is all pointed towards you and Lex and Terry. Well, using 255,000 people on one, 75 on another, and 40 on another to get the word out, as opposed to 400, 700, and 1,000.
I understand that, but
while we're talking branding,
all branding has kind of flown out the window at that point. That's all. That's where I was going with that.
Yeah, but where I'm going with it is
I understand.
We can always take the bigger numbers and reconnect with the branding.
Yes.
There's a sweet spot in there that we need to hit and make the decision that we can't go off the the umbilical cord of Lex and Terry anymore.
We just need to stick our fingers in there and feel around and find that sweet spot, Lex.
Yes, we do, Stacy.
Yes.
I'm sure that will be part of our efforts this year is feeling around and finding it and going
Yay, 2019.
Going off on our own and hoping the big seagull doesn't pick us up before we get to the beach.
As we flap our little flippers and
That's right.
make our way through the sand.
That's right. I don't want to just get right to the water and go, ka, ka. So we good?
I think so.
Okay, then. Sorry
Look,
about
we discussed it like adults.
Yeah, sorry about the Abby Hoffman line.
Oh, it's fine.
Did you laugh?
I smirked.
Okay, good enough.
And inwardly thought, all right, fucker, it's on.
I was trying to think of the just biggest douchebag liberal I could. And like it came to me, I heard it distinctly on the news in the other room. The anniversary of Abby Hoffman, and I went, "Oh, yes." So, anyway, I think this is where we call it to an end on number 146. Great podcast, Stacy. All over the place as usual. We hit Avengers. We hit Netflix, movie
Bird
theaters.
Box.
Big heads
Stuff.
Yeah,
and minimal Trump. So you all should be so happy.
not everybody.
Mwah.
There's people out there that got to have their Trump.
Well, I guess they can go find it someplace else.
Yeah, if you want an abundance of it, this isn't the place to come.
Nope.
Not exactly spending lots of time talking about that these days.
I am going to point out, though, the obvious, and I think that is why everyone is in a funk right now. Whether it's direct or indirect or whatever, I think that the state of the world, I won't say his name, but just the state of the world and the country is weighing a lot of people down. And they might not even realize it.
No, there's definitely a serious funk.
Yeah.
Of people being weighed down with things they weren't weighed down with before. Whether that's his fault or not remains to be seen, but usually
Correct.
That's who has to take responsibility. They do. That's part of it.
Well, no, everybody else does.
And that's part of the job.
Well,
so that's just the way it is. All right. Well, that wraps up number 146. Stacy, enjoyed it. Glad we're whole again. Nice fight. Good on you.
whole and shallow.
Yep.
That's Lex and I.
That's right. Bring
That
me
should
the
be our new
shallow
name.
ones.
It's whole and shallow in the morning.
Hurry.
Would I be whole or would I be shallow?
Let's hope you never find out. We tell the
Please
truth
let
up
us know
in
on
the castle.
Facebook, people.
Throw her
What's
back
our-
in the pits. Hopefully one
Our-
deeper than her.
Our morning Zoom names, whole and shallow.
And shallow. The two biggest millennial douchebags on the CHR dial. Hi, I'm Hull. And I'm shallow.
And then they both pause as they take a long, deep suck of their vape pens.
Mm-hmm. And then their infused coffee.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't either. I've just seen it.
I'm so old.
I've just seen it. Nitrogen-infused coffee is what I saw at Starbucks today.
I still have never been inside a Starbucks in my life. Ever.
Oh, I can't wait to take you. Because I will.
Talk to me like I'm a big, dumb, stupid. Yeah. All right, this is Coffee. He's going to talk loud and slowly to me.
Okay, you've had nothing but normal coffee your whole life. Do not order that today. We're not
being in line behind that.
We're not here for that. Today you're going grande. Possibly even venti.
There's this comedy bit right there.
That's right.
The last person who's never been to a coffee shop before now gets to explain all the different types of coffees.
Today you will have a nitrogen-infused Mocha Loca bullshit. A venti with whipped cream and half a lemon twist.
And a sprig of mint.
Yes. Enjoy your beverage.
That doesn't even sound good.
Exactly.
And then there's and I only know this from commercials, but all the blondies. What is that? Like a blondie coffee? Is it yellow? What is that?
No, it's just a very light roast, but people think it doesn't have as much caffeine in it. Where the truth of the matter is it has much more.
Why?
I don't know, somewhere in the process, it doesn't get rid of as much caffeine as dark roasting does.
Huh. See, I would just stick with espresso. If I'm there for the caffeine, by God, I'm going to get the caffeine.
Yeah, but the blonde beans are actually, I guess they're not roasted as much or treated as much, so the caffeine is still in full force in them compared to the ones that are roasted to death.
Very nice.
But I'll take you sometime.
Well, sometime before I die.
Yes.
That's on my bucket list. Going to Starbucks and then rolling around with a baby elephant.
We need to fly you down here and do some shows is what we need to do. Seriously.
God help you all.
And then I can take you to all the douchebag places like Starbucks and Jamba Juice and places like that, where you just see insane amounts of money for little 8-ounce beverages.
You're so making me feel really Amish right now. We'll take you to the big city, kid.
That's right. Well, I mean, where you are is Amish compared to this place. I mean,
it is.
There's literally, I can see 5 Starbucks from my office.
Really?
Yeah.
I can see 5 cows from my window right here.
I mean, they're obscured, but I know what buildings they're in, and they're all within a quarter to a half mile from here.
Wow.
If you could see through the buildings, I could see 5 different Starbucks.
That's impressive.
It's insane.
And they all do well?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Lines out the ass in all of them. People are hooked on the shit. And there's a place I love to shop up north, that's about 15 miles from here on the way to my old house. And the only downside to that store was it didn't have a Starbucks in it. Now it does.
They took care of that.
Yeah.
It's funny. You said up north just now.
Yeah.
And I thought you meant upstate Texas or something.
Up the tollway.
Because when Michigan, everybody goes up north, and that's either northern, lower Michigan, or if you're really fancy, you go up into the Upper Peninsula.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Which I had mentioned this to you before we started recording, but yesterday in Michigan, it was incredibly windy, like really, really windy, super high winds. And they whipped the waves up in Lake Michigan so much that yesterday Lake Michigan actually claimed a lighthouse. Like it came down, the waves crashing, which you have to think the waves have crashed against that thing for probably 100+ years. Mm-hmm. And yesterday the lake claimed it.
Is it an operational lighthouse, or?
I would assume so. Michigan is pretty.
Was it an operational?
It's not now.
So
it's gone.
So was there a person in it?
No, I don't think anyone lives in any of Michigan's lighthouses anymore. They're all.
I was about to say that had to be frightening if there was.
Look up pictures of the lighthouse in St. Joseph, Michigan. That would be down in the southwest part of the state along Lake Michigan. Right. There's a lighthouse there, and the waves crashing against it in the winter, the icicles, like the whole lighthouse just ices over. And it's pretty impressive to see these pictures.
Looking at it right
if
now.
You're into such things.
St. Joseph,
Michigan. The lighthouse. There's also, because that's in Michigan, there is also a weird thing. You can go up on like a dune there, and if the weather conditions are just right, you can actually see Chicago across the lake. How funky is that?
That's pretty cool.
It's actually, you're not seeing Chicago. What happens is, if the cloud cover is just right, it's almost like the reflection of Chicago bounces off the clouds and then comes back down on the water again. Because it looks like Chicago is up in the sky. It's unsettling, but really cool. People have taken pictures of this.
Yeah, I looked it up. It's got, and it doesn't have the new pictures, just old ones.
Ah.
Wow. Damn.
The Great Lakes are pretty amazing.
Oh wow! I just saw who's going to be in the Big Brother house.
Ooh.
Let's see. Celebrity Big Brother. Here we go. Mike Tyson. Sean Spicer.
Oh my God.
Kanye West.
Are you kidding?
I'm not kidding.
Kanye West's going to be in Big Brother? Seriously?
That's right.
I wonder if they'll let him take his medication.
Let's see. Anthony Scaramucci.
No, they have Spicer and the Moose. No.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
That's what it says. Scott Disick from Kardashians.
That's one of the Kardashians.
Yeah. Akbar, don't make me say the last names, the co-host of American Ninja Warrior, the athlete dude. Pete Davidson.
Really?
Yeah.
He nailed what's her face, Kate Beckinsale this weekend.
Good for him.
They left together from the Grammys.
Good for him. Guillermo Rodriguez, whoever that is.
Is that a baseball player?
The former parking lot security guard has made a big name from. Oh, that's the guy on Kimmel.
Oh, Guillermo. Okay.
Yeah. Nico Santos.
No idea.
He was in Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh.
And here you go. Johnny Weir, baby. Yeah.
I predict he and Mike Tyson become best friends.
Yeah. Johnny Weir will run the house.
Good. Good for him.
Yeah. I like that lineup.
Sean Spicer and the Mooch. Holy shit. I have never watched anything like this. Like, I've never watched reality TV.
Yeah, you got to watch this. It's a must. Time to get you some rabbit ears.
You know, I am, and I've had it for many years. It's a Roku 3. Mm-hmm. And that's like what I watch, like my YouTube and my Netflix and my Amazon on and stuff. And there's a new channel that got added. It was this. It's called CW Seed. I don't know what the seed is, and that makes me a little uncomfortable. But it's a CW channel, and they've got like all of their shows on there, and it's like, why am I watching this? So it's like, I hate to admit that I kind of like the CW shows.
Yeah, there's some good stuff on CW.
They are what, like, when back in the 90s, they would have been whoever had, like, Buffy and La Femme Nikita. Remember Peter Wilson?
Actually, I think that's what it transcended into, ultimately, was that channel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
And see, I'm really disappointed that, like, La Femme Nikita, I have never been able to find that in, like, any kind of syndication or anything. It's just, like, dropped off the face of the earth.
Yeah, some things are hard to locate for some reason. But we really must wrap this up.
I know. Yeah. This is like our fourth time saying goodbye.
So let's say goodbye, and we'll do this in a couple days, all right?
Bye.
Bye, Stacy.